You know what? I'm out of paintbrushes. My paint isn't good. I get my cats are walking in the paint and everything's a mess. I have to redo my orange and the flag that I painted, but I never built the backgammon set on the floor yet with big pieces. But when you have a priest in this world, is it only the priest that can marry you off? No, it's not only the priest. Things run in knots, things tied up in knots. Going down to Jamaica and Haiti and the hair in knots. Rapunzel, let your hair down. But the other place you can get married when it's eye and eye is only by the captain. The captain mans the ship, and we are in the universe, and we are floating on a ship. They call this ship the Big Pig. Saturn, Jupiter, brothers together in the sky. Doesn't anybody see it? Two giant planets and a little puny Earth that gets life. When you'd figure that more elements of space, but how they put Earth in the position it is just in front of the sun. How they show that Jupiter still shows a reflection from off the sun, where Earth shows a reflection off the moon. To where hundreds of millions of miles are measured because some scientist figured something out. But he couldn't figure it out because he doesn't know the density of space. And it's impossible to know the density of space because the further out you go, the longer it takes. And by that time, the machine is no longer working. You want to know anything about why? Well, you can ask yourself this question over here. In why, there's an in-between. It's the funnel. It comes in and there's one out. 1, 3, 1, okay, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is inside the funnel. The priest and the captain of the ship. How you can play a 7-game series in baseball, which is 21 periods. Okay, in hockey, 7 games in hockey is 21 periods. Okay, which is a little less than even 3 games, and you don't even get to the rain out of the second game. You only get to play 2 games in 3 innings in baseball. But in a 7-game series is 63 innings. But now you ask yourself the question that every time it comes to the bottom of the 9th, is the score tied? Who's winning? Will they play the whole 63? Forget about if they go over. But if they play a 4-game series in which one team wins all 4, how do they end up winning at home? They never end up playing the 9th inning of the game. Because in the 9th inning, somehow they had to score or it went into overtime, and I'm talking about no overtime. So the maximum we can go is 2 games on the road playing the whole 9th inning. Because you're on the road, you play 9 and 9 at bats. But when you come home, there can be 2 outs in both. And you get the game-winning run into the 9th inning, which leaves you to 17 1/3 innings. 17 1/3 innings. The number 17 is always in 3 worlds. 3 by 17 is 51. Plus 1 is 2. Earth of man. The numbers are only perfect in their own. Whatever you want to do, but if you go into the playoffs, and a man is, or even if you're not in the playoffs, I'm sorry, but you come to the end of the game, the home team has hit 1 home run and everybody else has struck out. When you come to the bottom of the 9th inning, the game is over. How many players went to the plate? 8 by 3 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. The 26th, the 27th, and the 28th. 8, 9, and 1 do not come to the plate. H and I. And I and H equals to the I, where you do not get you only get the bat twice, and you don't get the bat 3 times, because you are the player in the game, sitting on the mound we call Earth. Earth is our body, it's not a planet. The planet is Saturn. The electronics come from Jupiter, and it looks beautiful under the ground, because in the word of the bells are ringing ding-a-dong. B and E is 52, and 11 is the spirit, angel, and man. Coming in 2 and 9, 3 and 8, 4 and 7, and 5 and 6 is the only way to make the heart ding-dong, because in the dice cube in Matrix, only 5 and 6 connect. If you want to know why I'm like this, it's because I haven't really written much tonight, and I always get a little bit down when I can't get into that absolute world where everything has a meaning, and there's so many meanings. Even in this over here, two zeros come together. You put an I on each side as a single I, as in the two Jack of Hearts and the Jack of Spades. When you bring them together, all you have is two circles with an indentation, looking like the three that brought two together. But there is no V into life, and the only way to get a V is if you have a duck foot upside down showing you the point, to where the point of the manner of where the duck foot will support two balls and the quarter moons on each side, bringing in life. And at the same time, it becomes one. 7 and 5, which is the year we are in, is so many ways, but this is the jewel of the year. G is J. The month is June, Jewn. This is the month that they came together. 7 and 7 is 14, brings your Valentines together. 5 and 5 makes your pre-birth, October. I can't explain it. 7 and 5 is 35, which is the electric company, which is Earth and Jupiter, electric company of Bell. 3 times 5, 3 plus 5 will equal your 15, and your 8 is 23. 23, 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 will equal your 56, your heart and your creation. There's just so many things, so many ways to bring things together, and so many, the number 22 and the V come together is the same thing as V is 4. It brings 2 times 2 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4. They each equal 4, bringing both sides of Neptune into the mind of the Saturn child, which is a replica in his mind of the 2 moons which support him, which come in of the 2 moons of Mars and the 1 moon of Earth that come together, making the 3 of the one-man creation in AC, of AC-DC, where 3 and 4 is everything. I'm not even sure where to go next. 7, 10, and 3, 7, 1, and 4 coming into the dog pound. How these numbers of 7 come together. How the number of 10 come together. How the number of 13 come together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. 4 and 9 equals to your 36 degrees, to your 3 worlds of 666, and to your AC connection and AD connection of the one spirit and the 3 create. The 3 create is the 3 parts of Earth that you need to come into this world, which is totaled out, I'm assuming right now, at 7, 8, and 9, which create your 3, 6, and 9. Earth, Saturn, Pluto. This is your Jupiter, and this is your Venus. This is your Venus, and this is your Neptune. 2 times 8, 2 plus 8 is 16 and 10, and man gets to live in the dog pound of Saturn. Another thing I wanted to mention, and the reason I'm on to this word is because see the truth. Okay, when you say Israel, the R actually breaks up as a 1 and a 2. The A is a continuation onto the next line, but inside of it, backwards, is ear. Rael means the truth. But when you say ear backwards, all you're left with is Area 51. L, with the E or without the E, still says the same thing. It says her planet. IS and L is the island of land. The DNA, your island, is the man, his pie. Putting letters together, here's your K. But unless you put the K on top of each other, this is your angled K. There's more ways to K. Here's your Q. You see the way your Q has this, but when you double it, it shows you the square. Here's your circle, but it's only one circle. There cannot be a point. The point has to come from the secondary area. This is when you put 2 and 2 together. Okay? Here's your 7 upside down, and here's the curve of the round of one egg. The alphabet A to Z, 1 and 26, all says red. When you add up 1 to 26, but when you add up 2 to Y, B and E, okay, it becomes 27 also. But 2, okay, and 25, Theta, Earth, 225, 15 times 15 eggs is 225. 45 by 5 is 225. When you play Go in Monopoly, you get yourself your 200, you get yourself your 200, you get yourself your 200 is 600. but you have to finish off at 225 and 220, which reconnects your 2, 4, 6, and 8 and 1, 3, 7, 9 with the 5 in the center equals 845. But we're only going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, and we're going to go 825 because in the leap year you have to have the last 25. So 8 times 25 equals to your 200 again. One more time. So even that leap year will resolve in coming back to paying 200 to pass go. USA, 41 cents in our pocket, 41 to get around the monopoly. USA equals to 41, which is 21 and 19, which is New York and Kentucky tying in on free parking. Our whole world, an expression of letters and numbers, that when you say a certain word, that word will all of a sudden make a complete story. When you associate 1, 2, or 3 words together, let's try to associate 1, 2, and 3 words together. When you say these 3 words, if you want to start off in letters, they will automatically, in the law books, you are now liable towards those words, because every single word will mean something else to somebody else. It's an association that in the laws, joining in the laws that we live on this earth, that will take away the freedom of right. Because in the laws, everything was made matrix style, which means that certain words that if you put them together, they'll say against. You'll take those same words in the second situation, it'll say for. For and against. When you go into law, you have no choice but to take a lawyer, because you might say something for yourself that'll absolutely be completely against yourself. Israel, the island, is real because we live. Israel is 64. Zion is 64. Say this word. Here's a word, but put the S. The Spirit is the sword. It is the dagger in the heart. To seize the moment, okay? Ses amis. Mes amis. This means 16 friends. 16 friends. But this says another word. Sesame Street. Says street. Same friends. 16 friends, 16 candles. The Phoenician, 6 times 4, 6 plus 4 equals 34, says 1, says Israel, says 0. 6 plus 4, 6 times 4, which will equal XX in Roman numeral X, and in the alphabet the 24th letter. But in certain alphabets, the X is not the 24th letter, it's the 6th. It could be the 8th in the multiplication if you're using it with 2 others. How? 2, 4, 6, and 8. 2 and 6, 2 and 4. 4 and 2, 4 and 8. 8 and 4, 8 and 6. 6 and 2, 6 and 8. We've now created our circumference. Can we go like this? I don't know. It might be a balloon. You know the balloon? Was it George who said that? Did that balloon thing? Because we might have to make an arch to go over 2, because you're going through 2, which could be the 2 moons of Mars reflected inside of Venus, in which the 1 moon of Mercury is reflected inside of Earth and Venus, because of the numbers and the dice cubes. All rise, Learsi, Aries, arise, Aries, Januaries, Februaries from Israel. Where we live right now, they call it a place. They call it governmental. I think the whole thing is mental. I want to see if I can put one more duty together. Another thing, on the roulette board, just to get off, no, we're going to jump onto the Y. Y is the 25th letter, but it's the second letter next to the Z. So if it was the second letter, and it's minus, because Z is the last letter, and before you reach A, there's a space in between, and that'll be what the Y. The Y creates the 0. One Y on top of the other one creates your 0. You spread out from 2. You spread out in each of the worlds, and this is all onto the roulette board. Y and Y creates the sun. It creates the chemical, okay, that'll create the element of the radioactivity that goes on in the sun that is somehow connected inside man's brain, okay? But we're disarrayed from this world because they have added something that does not let us get the proper vibration inside the spirit. Here's how it connects. And there's in Roswell, okay, in 1945, they found a stone that had these 2 markings on it. And Jen, you drew a picture that had these two markings on it. This is when you connect 17 and 20. This is when you connect 8 and 11. This is when you connect 26 and 29 in roulette. Okay? These numbers connect. Then they couple with the bottom number. 20 to 23 is over here. There is no in between here. These are direct connections. But the connection over here is 23. The connection over here is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 2 and 3 is 5. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals 9. 2 times 3, 2 plus v equals 11. 9, 11 between 17 and 20, QT. Is it on the QT? Time heaven. 1 and 7 is 8. 3 and 7 is creation of the earth, what? Of the earth light. Let me say it that way. I'm not really sure which way to go with this. There was something else I wanted to mention. In order to create your 28, this is the way it's connected. Your spirit and your birth soul is 9. Why? Because when you play pool, these are the numbers that come up. And 199 has to do with Mercury and Jupiter, which is because of Venus and Neptune, which is who we are. Okay? Out of the Earth, of the Saturn world. 28 and 19. 47, 47 and 9 is 56. Our communication and time warp. I can't explain it. It's all about being in the dog pound. 9 times 7 is 63 of the 3 worlds of 6, 6, and 6. 9 by 4 is 36 of the 3 worlds of 6, 6, and 6. 7 by 4 is 28, the time of the moon. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 10 is 26, Z. 2 and 6 is the dog pound. So no matter what I'm going to do with these numbers, and this comes from M&M, the colors, orange or an angel. Colors, lime or a green. Colors, blueberry as blueberry, but what's a blueberry? What's an orange? What's a lime? A lime is a color inside a fruit. An orange is a color inside a fruit. And a blueberry is a color inside a fruit. A little twist of lemon and a little twist of lime. Cinderella says, let's go, Red Deer, Alberta. What does it mean by Red Deer, Alberta, let's go? What's being set up out there? This is like the 10th time. I know Canada, something is going on in Canada. I can't actually explain what it is. One of the ways somebody was talking about the hexagon, well, the only way to do it is to go 1, 2, 3 levels and then go in. You go 1, 2 levels or 3 levels. It's 1 level, 2 level, 3 levels. That's all you can do. You cannot do anymore. This makes it perfect within its own. A, spread out the 2 worlds. Here, do you see the flat area here and the flat area? It gets squared off. Whatever you can make inside the rectangle is all that this rectangle gets to own. Over here, it's what funnels into coming out over here from what's this side and this side. Because everything is on some sort of angle. I can't explain this. I shouldn't have got into this. I showed you what this was before, how these all connect. Here's your X. Here's your Y. Here's your X. Here's your Y. Same kind of Y. If I flip this box upside down and put it over here, okay, 18 and 34 will come together as 52. 16 and 36 will come together as 52, and 17 and 35 come together as 52. 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. 14, 16, 18. N is the cross on your back. 16 is the illuminated light that you have. 18, is that what I said? 18 is the 3 worlds of 666. The letter is R, Resh. But when you're doing counting letters, number 17 actually equals 18. I'm trying to see if I can find it over here. I put a lot of numbers down in paper. How about, who was it that mentioned the ninja stars? What do the ninjas throw? I'm telling you, we're picked up from underneath the Baltic. The reason is because of the letters N and Z. H and I are not created, and when they are created, it's because we have our birth. The captain of the ship declared a child has come into this world. Wouldn't that be Noah? N-O-H. N-O-A-H. A-H is 18 of 3666. And N-O is the beginning of pi. 1415. 3.1415 is the beginning of Noah. And driving in the skies of Avatar, coming down to the planet, that we call Earth, that I'll only call another sector in the skies of Saturn, underneath the moons of Neptune, and living within the moons of Mars and Earth within one's body. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus, thank you for giving me your time and attention. And question me, ask me, let's move on. Let me show you one more thing. Have you ever seen the tent that hangs on the ground? The only way to hang this tent is to make your mug and dovet and move your triangle. You can only move your triangle so much. You make a first triangle and then you move the second one. This is what ends up making the tent of Aladdin. In this one over here, if you create your perfect areas of the mug and dovet, little boy blue, okay, you see this eye? This eye is because we split time in half and we end up with H, an extended elongated H. And at the same time, if I turn it this way, this is who the wolf is. This is your wolf, okay? She's got two arms on each side. She's bent over and she's looking at you between these bitty eyes over here. Here's your eye, and here's your ace, and here's your square. And this is sigma, the 18th letter in Greek. When you cut it in half, and not only that, besides cutting in half, but Rodin, the Rodin coil, and many others now are all going along with the same design of 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. Okay, and that designs this here. And I think this has something to do with Sigmund Freud, but I don't know too much about math. I don't know too much about school or anything. I really didn't go to school that much. But what I do know is whether things work or they don't work. Whether they go together for a reason or they don't go together because of the reason. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. There is one thing I really hate in my life. One thing I really, really dislike in my life is you can't see my blue eyes through the blue glasses, telling you the truth from the pools of truth. No, the one thing I hate is the one actual thing missing in my life is the truth to medication. Big Pharma. Phoenician in words. And P and H created by the Zionists apparently is everything and all to do with 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2 and 4. And again brings it on in with Grover Cleveland. 3 times Grover Cleveland is 66, reflecting 4 times 2 is 88. 3 times 24 of Grover Cleveland is 72. 4 times is 96. 9 times 6 is your 54. It's the sun. It is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, which ends up telling you that it's number 42, because 2 times 4 and 2 plus 4 equals your 6 and 8, which reflects Neptune and reflects Saturn for the planet we are on with the cross on man's back. 8 and 6 is 14, reflecting Jupiter, because that's where the energy comes from. 6, 8, and 5. And that's the way it ends. 6 times 8 is 48, times 5 is 240. 240 hours and 10 days of 6 days and 1 day and 3 days. And there's so many kinds of combinations that we can put together. Not put together to create what we want, but put them together and see what it creates. Thank you for watching. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. In the last of times, when the dice cube of the regular world will end in 5775, what is the next cube to life? Let us wait and see, for it'll be upon us very shortly. Thank you for watching.